What's going on, Laker fans? Welcome to LAKERLAND. I am Christian, Mr. All of the Above ENT here, and of course, unfortunately, we are here to talk the Los Angeles Lakers. This is LAKERLAND, and this will be a pretty negative incarnation of this show because there isn't many positives to currently discuss within LAKERLAND. I kind of wanted to wait, possibly, until the Kings game happened, which is tomorrow, as I record this, to go out on the limb with any takes or anythings. But truth be told, I think we've seen enough 11 games in, as we currently sit 2-9, to make some conclusions. And I'm pretty sure we could have made these conclusions a while back, but I was trying to give the benefit of the doubt. I was trying to see, maybe as teams get a little easier, things can change. But I think as of right now, we can call it what it is. And right now, this is the worst season in Lakers history. Well on its way to be. I've been alive for 22 years, 23. Oh, so I don't even remember my age. Been alive for 23 years, going on 24, being year on its way. And by far, Laker fan my whole life, as long as I remember basketball, which has been 5-6 years old pretty much. Laker fan my whole life, this has been by far the least enjoyable season. And last year was bad, was real bad. This year, 2-9, just hear me say that statement out loud. Our record is 2 wins and 9 losses. And, maybe in the beginning of the season, we could have said, maybe we should have been 3-3. Sure, I guess. As of right now, we are a deservingly 2-9 team. It is what it is. And I'm going to be discussing maybe what some of those reasons are, some possible actions maybe we can take, and just overall, what have I seen out of this team? So again, if I just run down those list of topics, there's not many positives to really intertwine in between. And I'm a pretty positive person. I try to keep it as positive as can be. I try to be optimistic as can be. But right now, it is not no sunshines and rainbows, ladies and gentlemen. It is a dark cloud over. I don't live in Los Angeles. I'm other side of the country. But I can only imagine in sunny LA, there is a dark cloud over Crypto.com Arena, El Segundo, the Lakers facilities, Genie Bus's home. This is awful. And this is exactly what I did not want to see this year. But at the same time, hindsight always being 2020, I've been doing some just some hindsight thinking. And what did we expect? I thought the roster was, I should say, I thought some of our moves this offseason were good moves. We did have some good moves. We had some good base hits. But ultimately, Rob Pelinka, you said that this roster was not done yourself.
Rest assured, there will be changes to our roster. We have to be better than we were last year. Lakers fans deserve that.
You said that Laker fans expect more moves to be made, and they can expect them to be made. Instead, you are sitting on your hands again, sir. What is going on? Listen, we're in an entire predicament now where maybe we're handcuffed to this. Maybe we made our bed and now we have to lay in it, but that bed is a fucking casket. Because what's the positive? Is it aging LeBron James? Is it AD who's only getting more hurt by the day? Is it getting Russell Westbrook off our books? Is that the bright side? Who, props to you, Russ, you haven't been bad. We'll talk about it a little bit. The bench. The thing is, I shitted on Russell Westbrook for countless hours, and I do feel like to make up for that, I gotta give flowers when it's due. And Russ is not the. I think I covered this before. Russ isn't the problem. Now, has he been the problem in the past? Absolutely. But he's playing good now, so he's not the problem. His contract, if anything, is the biggest problem in the room. But we traded for that contract, Rob. LeBron, AD, that's what we asked for. So you can't cry over shit that you asked for. You asked for it. So with that being said, with this 2-9 start, when you ask us why do we suck, when you ask us what's the problem, why aren't we winning, look at the roster. Look at the roster, and not only that. So I thought the roster going into the season, because I'm on record saying it, like you can go back in other videos and you could do a whole thing of maybe me saying things that just didn't happen. But ultimately, when I saw the offseason, I felt decent about it. The reason I felt decent about it is because due to the fact how we were constructed with our contracts, with Russell Westbrook being paid $47 million, I believe, or 44, whatever the total is, and then with Bron and AD falling right underneath that, all we had was minimum contracts to give out and the one mid-level exception. I think we did good with the mid-level exception. I've liked Lonnie Walker this season, and I don't have any negative things. He's outperforming his contract. And then the minimum contract, they're minimum contracts. Troy Brown Jr. probably surpassed a minimum contract. Maybe, maybe not. I've liked the minutes out of Troy Brown Jr. Juan Toscano-Anderson. I'm a little disappointed overall with what we're getting out of him and what we've seen out of him in totality, but ultimately, he's a minimum contract. You're expecting $15 million worth of productivity out of him? Because you're not going to get it. You got to pay a $15 million wing to get that. But we got a minimum contract. So even when Darvin Ham says, hey, somebody has to score the ball, we have minimum contracts. They're not the best at scoring, or else they wouldn't have got paid minimally. It's literally the cheapest deal you can possibly get, and we filled the roster with them. Everybody knows. Everybody was saying it. I was saying it. This roster doesn't make sense if Russ is on the team. So, of course, Russ is going to be traded. It will make more sense then. But ultimately, you played the hand you were dealt. And when you keep on losing, you're looking back at your cards and you're like, well, oh shit, I don't have enough. Go figure. You knew that. It is an awful time to be a Laker fan. This has been already a disaster of a season. And you can scapegoat Russell Westbrook, but that doesn't work anymore. There's no coach to scapegoat with Frank gone. You got a new coach, so you can't. You want to scapegoat Darvin? I think Darvin's done a pretty fine job. A few questionable rotations for me, and I mean, record speaks for itself. Questionable rotations, but once again, you have a dealt hand, and you can only play what you're dealt. So that's that. I mean, I can't trash the guy too much for that. Still, there are some better decisions. Yesterday, I was watching the Lakers-Clippers game, and it's final 8 minutes of the game, final 9 minutes of the game, and Nunn and who's the other player? Oh my God, it's gonna say Nunn and Christie, Kendrick Nunn and Christie, along with Gabriel, are in the game with 8 minutes left to go. Do you think we're going to win that game? Okay. Guys, what are we doing here? Are we throwing out the season already? Let me know. I'll sleep a lot better. I'll sleep entirely a lot better. My days would free up. I can be a better boyfriend. Can be a better, family member. I could be a better son. I can be a better brother. I can be a better uncle. if you take away the 12 hours I feel like I spend watching Lakers games a week, if we want to give up the season, give it up. Give it up. Just let the fans know, you know what I mean? But what are we going to tank for? Because, you know, Pelicans get our pick. Pelicans get our pick. And I ain't even tripping about that. Like, you know, cost of doing business and cost of winning a chip. Traded for AD, we got a chip. Opportunity cost. Speaking of Anthony, my man. I was under the impression when we gave out all these picks, when we gave out Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, levy of others. When we gave out all these picks and all these players, I was under the impression we were trading for a perennial all-star, a possible MVP, a definite defensive player of the year, a guy who is going to seamlessly lead the Los Angeles Lakers into the future, and it's going to be LeBron James coming off of his prime, leading right into Anthony Davis's prime, and I think that's what the front office saw as well, so I'm never mad at the decision and the trade ultimately, and we won a championship, so thank you for that. What I am mad about is the fact that Anthony Davis doesn't seem to be any of those things. Defensive player of the year? Possibly. He's a, generational defender. One of the best defenders I've seen with my eyes. He covers so much ground. He is a elite shot blocker. He can guard pretty much 1 through 5. And ultimately, still, not enough. And the reason it's not enough is because as great as that defense is, and I'm not taking it for granted, I'm really not. Really am not. Averaging 21 points a game offensively. We're not going to get that done. We're not going to get the job done if we have that type of AD. A 38-year-old LeBron James, who's still your leading scorer, by the way, gave Anthony Davis plenty of chances to get acclimated, plenty of chances to take the torch. And AD has just done nothing with it. So leading scorer is still a 38-year-old. And ultimately, you want me to be real with you, offensively, Westbrook has been one of our better players. Days where he's better than Anthony Davis offensively. Shit. There's days that he's been better than LeBron James. LeBron James has not had a great season this year so far. And even now, it takes a while to get into rhythm. Injuries, groin, left foot. Honestly, at this point, LeBron James, whatever, pick the random injury, off the... Pick the injury of the week, pick the injury of the day. And I get it. I don't think you should, I don't think you're in a spot right now where your talent is appreciated, because clearly what they surrounded you with shows that. And again, this is the bed we made. This is now the bed we lay. So if Anthony Davis isn't going to step up and be a 30-point game, there's like 5-6 people averaging 30 points a game right now. And overall, the pace in the NBA is up. So there's a bit of inflation of these points. Somehow, with this inflation of offensive productivity, Anthony Davis has found a way to be less productive offensively. Minimal shot attempts in the second half. He is fired up, ready to tear apart the world and burn it down in the first half. And in the second half, he comes out of the locker room and the ball doesn't find him. The shots don't work. He gets outscored by Lauri Markkanen, and Lauri, got you on my fantasy team. Keep doing what you're doing. Great season. No slander on you. But may somebody explain to me why in the second half, Lauri Markkanen is putting together a better game than Anthony Davis? I'll wait for an explanation. Is it coaching? Are we having trouble getting to the ball? Is it due to the fact that the players surrounding him, generally speaking, the better players around you make you better, and vice versa? the minimum contracts around you might minimalize you. That's what it seems like right now. Is that what's happening? Can I get answers? Is that the answer? Or is it just due to the fact that our roster is truthfully not constructed well? It's not rocket science. I knew that. I wasn't expecting Russell Westbrook on this team. I said, all right, Russell Westbrook on this team, this doesn't work. And then that's the product that they threw at us for so far 11 games, and it's not looking like it's going away anytime soon. And if you're not going to make a move when we're 0-5, and you're not going to make a move when we're 2-9, and you're not going to make a move when we have a failure of a season, and Laker fans are fed up, it seems like Genie's fed up, you're not going to make a move then. Are you going to make a move at all? Because what it seems like to me is now it's too late and offers aren't good enough, which you can't be picky. It's the bed you made. Offers aren't good enough, so they're willing to say, you know what? We didn't like what we were getting. LeBron James was hurt anyways. Anthony Davis is still trying to get his health under shape. It's just, we're going to throw away this season. Another throwaway season, may I have you. Genie Bus, how many good seasons have we had under your ownership? I question. I remember winning a championship that one year, and then after that, before that, it gets a little foggy. Gets a little foggy because I choose not to remember it. It's a bunch of playoff we got a first round exit, I believe, against the Suns, and then playoff misses, and well on our way for another one. So yeah, in the beginning of the season, I was like, you know what? There's a good team underneath all this. We're defending. We're playing hard. These shots will fall eventually. The shots have fell. The defense has fell too. Maybe it's due to the teams we're playing. The Jazz is nice. I'll give you that much. The Jazz is so nice that you can have LeBron James and Anthony Davis on your team and still lose the game. The time of LeBron James being a player that you can just, basically what Luka is now, where you can just kind of put him around whatever the fuck you want. Where you can put him around whatever you want, and he'll still figure it out. He'll still make it work. He'll still win. He'll still drive you to the playoffs. He might even drive you to the finals because LeBron James is that guy. He's that great. He's that dominant. That guy is now 38, wishing that a 28, 20, whatever AD, maybe he's 30 now, wishing that the very much so younger player can do some heavy lifting, but he can't heavy lift because his back is out. No, we're not gonna get that. We're not gonna get that. AD, man, oh my God, Anthony Davis, I promise you that I want you to be my favorite player. I promise you that I'm betting the over on you every single night, and you can't even get me 21 points. That's just, sorry guys, let me wind that back. That's just frustration from all the missed parlays I had this year due to Anthony Davis not scoring. Wow. To discuss any more. I mean, of course there's more to discuss. We can talk about Russ off the bench. And like I said, let me give you your flowers. I'll talk about you for 1 minute. You've been great off the bench. Turnovers are there. I'm numb to it. But ultimately, thank you for embracing your role. Thank you for, and I don't have like this dry and this monotone flowers out of like, spite. It's just because the Lakers are awful. So like you doing good, unfortunately, while the Lakers lose. That was honestly a worst case scenario in my heart, is Russell Westbrook performing and Lakers still sucking. So Russ, yes, you're not the problem this year. You're not the problem. You're playing fine. You're playing good most games. And I appreciate you for still having on-court positive energy and seemingly being a very much so plus positive asset on this team. One of the only plus positive assets on this team this year. If I'm giving a scorecard of the Laker roster, he might have the highest scorecard. He'll have one of them for sure. So shout out to you, but ultimately you're a 47, 44, whatever the contract is, highest paid player. You're not necessarily living up to the contract, which because of that, you hinder the team. But regardless, I'm not here to negatively put anything on Russell Westbrook. He's been good off the bench. Thank you, Russ. I appreciate you. Let's move on. Austin Reeves, you need a haircut. Guys, next time you see Austin Reeves play, watch him. One, I like watching him because he's a good player. He has very good intangibles, very good IQ, makes the right decision, almost out of fault because I'm like, shoot the goddamn ball, stop with the hockey passes, but also, cut your hair. How many times in a possession is hand in his face, moving his hair? I've seen him almost get a turnover last night because he was moving his hair and the ball was being thrown to him. Ultimately, he's a pretty good player, so he sank the shot. But, you know, maybe we can get more from you if you just cut your hair. It's a real problem of mine, honestly. And I'm being joking. I'm joking when I say that, but I'm dead ass. Cut your hair and shoot the ball. Somebody gotta shoot it. And I damn near trust you than half of this team. So shoot the ball, please. Patrick Beverley, you catfished me, dog. I was expecting the idea of Patrick Beverley, and I do also feel like he's a similar player with Austin Reeves, where if you have good talent around you, it'll elevate itself and, like, you know, it'll raise the floor. The floor is in the goddamn crust of the universe right now. We sunk entirely. Is the crust a good analogy? I don't know. Analogies are out the window right now, ladies and gentlemen. Patrick Beverley. Ultimately, you're a $13 million contract. And I haven't got $13 million value out of you. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at the trade. We got rid of THT. Big whoops. I don't give a shit about THT anymore. Could care less. Wish him the best. He posterized us. And truthfully, we deserve that. And we traded him for Stanley Johnson, who's a free agent, by the way, which didn't like the decision when we made that, but gave him away for nothing. Another front office mishap maybe. That's my comment about Beverley. So I just want you to be the person that, you know, you told the Laker fans, the LAKERLAND, the Laker world, that team as constructed, and we were constructed pretty shit last year, and whether we're constructed less shit this year, I don't know, because Rob said I'm going to get a bunch of old guys and replace them with a bunch of young guys, but he went from having a bunch of really old guys to having a bunch of really young guys and, like, no real balance, which, God forbid. But you told me that you can take that constructed team into the playoffs. I believe you said Western Conference Finals. I would take making it to the playoffs at this point. At this point, if Lakers make the playoffs, whoop-de-woo, this is a great season. We somehow made the playoffs. Make the play-in. Make the play something. Can we play at all? Can we play real basketball? What do we do now, guys? That's the question. What do we do? Do we make a rash move? Because be real with yourself. Ask yourself, does Hield and Turner fix this team? And then giving away 2 picks on top of that doesn't help. The picks, the fact that the picks have been such a big talking point. And I get it. I really do. I get it because, you know what? We might not be good. And we're not looking like we're going to be good if we make stupid decisions like we've been making. But don't put yourself in a predicament to be bad, and those picks don't have much value. Also, we have more picks. We have more. They're just like non-tradable. Beyond the point, does Miles Turner and Buddy Hield do anything for this team? Because looks like we need more. My only thing is, or whatever, does any mythical trade save this team? And unless it's a trade that I have not heard yet, if you look at the Spurs deal, I don't think it saves the team. But maybe we can, break up that max contract into the amount of role players we need. But the problem is that comes with the baggage of the 2 picks that we're going to lose. So is that trade-off, and is it worth it? And of course, to me, it's worth it because I don't want to see this type of basketball. 2-9. What's the trajectory of this? I'm not going to do math right now, but well on our way to maybe crack 20 wins this season. Maybe. That's over projecting. 20 wins. Oh no. Do you hear the words coming out of my mouth? So with that trajectory, does Buddy Hield and Miles Turner move the needle? Are they moving the needle for the Indiana Pacers? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think the Spurs trade moved the needle ultimately too much, especially because Russ been good. It was different when Russ was like a negative asset because it was ultimately like, one, we win by subtraction, and then we get 2 positive assets. Under the case where Russell Westbrook is playing fine, well, we're trading a backup point guard, which at this point, we kind of need a point guard. We do. And sure, Dennis is recovering, and he's been hurt, and maybe he comes back and he can be healthy and he can be good. But is that all you need? Is that that's what's gonna do it for you? If you lose Russell Westbrook, it's just gonna be Dennis and not gonna be Nunn. Get that guy out of here, please. Not gonna be Nunn. Maybe you give more point guard duties to Austin Reeves. Maybe LeBron James, he's not tapping back into that bag. I don't see that. It's nasty. It's nasty. Only positive I can have, and it's something that we shied away from, and ultimately I see why, and I knew why we didn't to begin with. But Anthony Davis playing all of his minutes at the center, we can definitely use a center. And I didn't think that was a thing, but we definitely need a center. And that would help slot down. And this is a thing that I've continued to say, but putting AD at the 4, a center at the 5, whether that center is a Miles Turner, maybe Thomas Bryant. Lord knows it's not Damian Jones, clearly. And Wenyen Gabriel, he's not a center. So slotting down, that puts people in their more natural positions. What does Austin look like as a 1 or a 2 compared to a 3? What does Troy Brown Jr. look at like as a 2 compared to a 3? What does, Bev look like as a 2 rather than a 3? Sometimes these people, he's guarding Paul George yesterday. So that could fix some things. And that's my only other shot in the dark is if we slot down, maybe we can get more real fits. Because the fit isn't there. People are either playing up and are having to guard up, or people aren't playing at all. And we do not have the talent on this team to afford DNPs. We don't have the talent on this team to afford a LeBron James rest day at age 38. We don't have enough talent on this team to sacrifice even losing Russell Westbrook. Because if you take him away, where is your scoring coming from off the bench? If Anthony Davis isn't scoring to the extent that he should be, where's our scoring coming from, period? And that's been the ultimate question that has not yet been solved. We have a scoring issue. We have an offense issue. We have a roster construction issue. We have a front office issue. Rob Pelinka made the bed that we are currently laying in. He did. So, what do we do? There's not many options, guys. The future is bleak. I mentioned Bev because he has a $13 million contract that we can trade. Along with Nunn, who has a $5-6 million contract. Russ is getting paid what he's getting paid. Nobody wants any of these three players on their team. So, what does that get you? Especially if we don't want to sacrifice picks. So with that said, is this it? And even that, this season's an L, right? Not gonna make the finals. Can I say that confidently? I'm pretty confident in saying that. Not gonna make the finals, I don't think, and that sucks because like I've been an optimistic Laker fan. I thought we were gonna make the finals when we had Lonzo Ball and LeBron James on this team. I was optimistic enough to have some sort of belief for that. We have LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook, and I have zero confidence that we can make the playoffs. I mean, make noise in the playoffs, I should say. Maybe we somehow make the playoffs, which is crazy. But let's say this season's a L. Russ is off of our books next year. We keep those picks. Thank God, right? Keep the picks. Woohoo. And we go into the free agency looking to build. I don't know if you guys see next year's free agency. It's not the strongest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I can't even fantasize a roster with those free agent picks that change much of these problems we have. Sure, we can get, a solid role player that may be actually more valued and may actually be worth the amount of money that, because we'll be shedding out more money at that point. But LeBron James will then be 39. And if you guys have not noticed a drop-off in LeBron James' play, you are blind. He's not 28 years old LeBron James. He shouldn't be. He's not expected to be from me. So, what happens next year? We keep those picks and we do what? Sign 2 or 3 guys and more vet minimums? I'm not buying it. I'm not sold. So what? We wait for a trade? We wait for a trade, right? We wait for a trade. What contracts on our books? Anthony Davis and LeBron James. And I believe Austin Reeves. And Max Christie. Maybe another DJ, I believe. Tired of it. To get these DJ initials out of the Los Angeles Lakers. Whether it's DeAndre Jordan, DJ Augustine, Damian Jones. I've seen enough of a track record. I never want to see another DJ on this roster again. And sorry, DJ Augustine, you got to catch shade. You didn't deserve that, but you do. He doesn't, but he does. But just like we have to think of a long-term solution now. Is that trading AD? What does Anthony Davis and 2 picks get us, out of curiosity? Sidebar. I don't got much else, guys. I just had a vent. I really did. I just got a vent, and there's a lot. I could talk for 25 more minutes and just vent my heart out. And ultimately, that will bring me to the same conclusions, and it's the conclusion that we suck. And the only way I believe this team would be good is if Anthony Davis takes on more of an offensive load. Now, how does he get there? I'm not too sure. Maybe that involves getting slotted down, because my man is having to do too much defensively. I see it. He's having to guard the perimeter while also protecting the paint, and it's not possible for him to do. You're asking too much of him defensively. And it can work in spurts, and that's what makes him the unicorn that he is. But to think you can do it for 36 minutes a game, it's not that. And we're asking him to play out of position. And we don't ask Kevin Durant to play 36 minutes at center. So why are we asking it out of AD? He doesn't. And he didn't want it. He doesn't want to do it, and I get why. I do. I get why now, and it's fine in the spurts, in the increments. But ultimately, you stretch him too thin if he's there full time. So I guess we'll pen the announcements for Thomas Bryant and Dennis Schroeder, and maybe they can fix some things. Maybe Dennis Schroeder can be somebody who can get a ball in the basket. But don't forget, last season he played for the Celtics and he wasn't good. Thomas Bryant had shown major potential once upon a time, and he also suffered, I believe, an ACL injury. And he's a big man. So, not too faithful in that. I am not too confident in that. And we're left with the cards that we dealt to our damn selves. A bunch of decisions in the front office could have been made better. You guys can hold a lot of that blame. And listen, fans are not happy. Fans are telling Jeannie she might need to sell the team. A lot of them have been vouching for that for quite some time. I was willing to give benefit of the doubt, leeway, brownie points, whatever it may be, because I got a championship, and I got to witness that. And I felt good about that. And I felt good about our roster after that, too. But making patterns and mistakes consistently and having a now history, a track record of them, it's unacceptable. And the Lakers are not an acceptable losing franchise. We are not the Knicks. This doesn't happen. We are not the Knicks. What are we doing if you have to sell the team to somebody rich with money that is willing to pay Caruso the extra money, that is willing to hold on to players and to go into luxury tax and to maintain bird rights and to make this team better? So be it. If the problem is Rob Pelinka and the awful decision making that he has continued to do, you know what needs to be done. If you have to take a look at your inner circle and realize that maybe they're not the basketball minds I really hyped them up to be, take that look around. But I am not a happy Lakers fan. Haven't been a happy Lakers fan in quite some time. And I just want to be happy again. That's it. You could hear the pain in my voice. I'm well aware. I just want to be happy again as a Laker fan. And if not, just tell me. Just tell me, hey, guys, we're looking to rebuild. I had fun with those rebuild teams. In a different way, for sure. But I had fun. at least I had something to look forward to, whether it was incremental improvements within the talent, skill development, whether it was, just the excitement of winning a game with a young squad, with a team that's fighting hard. I had fun with it, for the most part. Some seasons were definitely dreadful, but when we started getting it underway, it was nice. This is awful. This isn't fun. This is just agony after agony after agony, getting my hopes up and watching them crumble beneath my eyes. And, it's all the same story. Go into the second half. We look like we're about to turn the tide. We just caught up. We're on a run. We got momentum. And then we shit the bed that we made. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what I got for you guys today. What do you feel? I know what you feel. I feel it too. Where are you at mentally? If you got a vent. Safe space. I promise. Vent away. Do you have any suggestions? Can we get like a Discord going of like possible solutions? And maybe we can throw Rob Pelinka in there and maybe we can help him out. I'll do it pro bono. I'll kick on to... listen, I have created some great teams in 2K. It's 2K. I get it. But there's no way you do this roster on paper and think it's going to work. So, what are you guys thinking currently? Do we ever crack 500? Do we get back there? We got the Kings next, right? If we go 2-10 in crypto against the Kings, old Yeller us, take us outside and end it. Put the dog down. That's where I stand. Guys, thank you for watching as always. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. But, just let me know where you're at currently in Lakerland. I wish I had it in me to pack a bag and move. Ultimately, I live here forever. And I'm just hoping that we can have some renovations soon. Rob Pelinka, get your ass off your hands. Get your ass off your ass. Get your ass off your ass. Does that make sense? Just make some calls, goddammit. Figure it out. If you gotta sacrifice something, we might have to. I don't know. I give up. I give up, guys. I'll see you on another day. I'm done.
Yeah, I got the game all in my hand, ooh, and yeah, pop out with the drip and make a fan drool. You could risk it if you want, this ain't no fan duel. Yeah, I'm in a Benz cool, yeah, stepping for the breeze.